all those shots from 1967
Yeah.
on the makeup that we did.
And here's one of, this one of Jack, Jack Russo.
Jack
Where's
Russo,
that?
oh,
Yeah,
over
here we
here,
are.
that was
Better known
that was
these
one
days.
of your better ones.
Yeah.
That was great.
You knew that the genesis of this makeup, the wounds, that is, was from the Enchanted Cottage when I was a messenger at RKO in Hollywood.
I think that's great. You really liked that movie because you looked
Yeah.
like you tried to redo
Well,
it.
I used to hang around the makeup department, and I think one of the Westmores was in charge of it at the time, but I'm not really sure. But anyway, they used, on Robert Young's face, they used Dermawax to create the distortion.
Because
on
he
his
was
face.
a war
A
hero.
war hero had been wounded. And so I just absorbed that, and when it came time for Living Dead, I thought, aha, here's a way we get our wounds, our gross wounds. So we searched, found the Dermawax, and the rest is history.
And here you are doing makeup on a couple of the ghouls. Although I did most of the ghoul, the regular makeup, the straight makeup.
Well, you did it in stages also.
Yeah, well, it was really interesting the way the makeup sort of progressed. If you watch the film, you'll see that the makeup changes. In the beginning, everybody is a raccoon.
Yeah, yes. Dark eyes, dark circles, and...
Right. And I was doing what I knew then, which was theater makeup, and that was to enhance and to diminish anything that was wrong with the face.
Right.
And then I gradually realized that with a ghoul, you go the opposite way. So if somebody had a big face, you make their face bigger. If somebody has a narrow face, you make their face very narrow and small. If they have little eyes, you make their eyes little beady eyes. So the makeup got better as the movie went on.
And of course, as we progressed with the production, then we had it kind of down to a formula, and we instructed various of the ghouls to put on what we called a base makeup, as Chuck Craig is doing here, and then you went in and finished it with the shading, the rouge, the black, the brown.
And I also
It
did
was-
the makeup on the nude.
Oh, that's right.
Which was,
that's right.
yeah, she was too pretty and pink. So we had to cover her with gray.
That's right. A greenish gray, as I recall. Yeah.
You can't tell that in the black and white film, but,
No.
and there's Roger.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh boy, that was a good
Roger
one.
McGovern.
And Betty Ellen Hawhey. See, a lot of people thought Betty Ellen Hawhey was the lady who ate the bug from the tree, but she was not. I was the lady who ate the bug from the tree. I was filling in because we were short on ghouls that night, so I did a little extra role as a bug-eating ghoul. And I don't think I have one of those here.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
Chuck Craig.
Chuck Craig, yes.
That was a great one, Carl. And our honeymoon couple.
Yes. They went off the bridge, at Chappaquiddick or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that came later.
And this was more subtle makeup. This was Rich
Yeah.
Sanderson. And this is as the film progressed, and we were using less of the, the black around the eyes. And he looks really good. He made
Yeah.
a great ghoul.
I forget how he died now, but it died leaving him a very dark gray.
He looked good.
Yeah, that was
And Miss December.
Miss December.
That was
Yep.
Paula Richards. She was our receptionist
Yes, at the time, yes.
at the studio. So she was our first lady ghoul, wearing a sheet, which she
Yes.
devised herself, because we also did the costumes, which came mostly from Goodwill.
And at the bottom of many people's closets, things that have been discarded or were, excuse me, were about to be discarded.
And Keith Wayne, of course, he didn't have ghoul makeup. He was a great-looking guy, still is a great-looking guy. He's a chiropractor now. So we just did straight makeup for Keith.
So
Lots of memories.
many, many memories indeed.
Hot summer days, doing the makeup under the tree with the mosquitoes and the gnats.
And it was difficult because the makeup would have to wear off and we'd have to refresh it periodically.
And we didn't have running water, so we had to
Yes.
carry little thermoses of water, which were for both drinking and makeup,
Yes,
whichever came first.
which we tried to keep separate,
Yeah.
of course. This is the original disc, one of the original discs from the soundtrack.
But we did so much to them, to change them,
Yes,
to alter, electronically change
We
them.
we changed the speed. We used a feedback echo. That's from the playback head back to the record head, and then we also used the echo chamber, the real live echo chamber.
And this music, even in 1967, was very old, because when we reported the use of this music to Capitol Library, they wrote back and said, "Where did you get those discs? They're so old. After you use them, please return them to us."
That's right. That's right. I've
Because
forgotten that.
the composer or whomever was supposed to get royalties from it had long died, and they didn't have any way of handling.
So it's old. But anyway, we did modify the music greatly, and the initial, this is probably interesting, the initial selection of the music tracks was up to us. George Romero said, "Why don't you pick some discs, something that you feel might fit, and make a collection, and then we'll listen to them." And we gave him the final decision on what to use and what not to use. Now you'll hear
ZR2.
that was the voice of Capitol Records Music Library, identifying the cut. At any rate, then George came up, we all listened to the stuff, and he said, "I like this, 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 and this." And then we proceeded to modify the music, to add echo and do the things I said before.
The music is, I think, is a big contributor to the feeling of Living Dead. You know, that kind of gothic,
Yeah, it is.
old-fashioned terror.
Well, that was really our frame of reference
That's right.
at the time, because nobody had done anything like this. Our frame of reference had to be the Frankensteins, the Mummy pictures, and this music is from that era. So I guess you would say it's music of the what, 40s, 50s, thereabouts, brought forward in time. And even today, they're still using similar music.
Yeah.
It's more modern.
Yeah.
Arrangements are more modern, but it is very similar. So it's interesting. Night of the Living Dead.
Forever.